GOP congressional candidate and the founder of the American Islamic Forum for Democracy. Zuhdi, what do you make of this? 24 anti-Israel protesters stage a walkout from Hillary Clinton's lecture at Columbia University. What do you think?
Well, it's interesting that you and I have been talking about this for so long, which is, the hypocrisy in the BLM movement. For example, you had riots and violence and destruction done, and there seemed to be moral vacancy. And now when we saw at that time the likes of Louis Farrakhan leading it with the deep anti-Semitism, and now we see this, what I call the red-green axis, the combination of the Marxists in the world fed by the Chinese Communist Party and other anti-American interests, aligning with the Islamists, which are the Iranian regime and the Muslim Brotherhood of the Hamases and Al-Qaedas of the world, uniting with any means necessary. Moral vacancy. It's the battle of the civilized in the West versus the uncivilized. And at the head of the spear is the Jewish community. And it's not only about the demonstrations of those walking out. Where are the Democrats that are truly about humanity? Where are they not demonstrating for academic reforms? We had an era 5 years ago where we used to cancel somebody because they wrote one thing 10 years ago. Now they're doing it in real time, and nobody's saying anything. It's not America.
Zuhdi, this is starting to backfire. 24 top law firms co-signed a letter warning law schools they will not hire their graduates because of anti-Semitic student rallies at those schools. We're talking big guns like Davis Polk and Willkie Farr. And then you have Senator Marco Rubio introducing legislation to ban federal student aid to colleges with, that support Hamas or anti-Israel rallies on their campuses. What do you say to that?
I think that legislation about banning aid is very important. We should not be funding the own demise. Our national sovereignty, just like we're hemorrhaging at the border, our national sovereignty, we're hemorrhaging in our mindset as far as what America stands for, who we are and who we are not. The ideology has been offensively coming into this country, and we see it in its anti-Semitic blood libel against Israel. They're fighting for the defense of a democracy that was attacked by people worse than animals, and yet when they go to defend themselves, it's not supposedly a righteous war. Actually, the Palestinians are the victims. That doesn't make any sense. Academic leaders need to stand up against that and teach their students what real humanity is, what the West stands for, and we should no longer fund that through the federal government. And yes, there needs to be some moral accountability. If you're hiring future attorneys and others, yeah, maybe it makes sense to tell them in real time, you posted this, you won't be hired. We used to talk about it 10 years ago that an old tweet would be exposed, that somehow that was it. Now it's in we see it in real time.
Zuhdi, now we've got 50 U.S. universities with anti-Israel rallies. You had 130 professors at Columbia University call it a military action what happened on October 7th when, innocent children were slaughtered. University of Pennsylvania student refers to Hamas terrorists as freedom fighters. You see it go on and on and on. And then Harvard, you see a Harvard student getting mobbed by pro-Hamas demonstrators yelling shame at him on campus. So when you see all of that and it's going through the Ivy League schools, you got to wonder what has been going on in our U.S. university system for the last 10, 15, 20 years.
And I have 3 kids. 2 of them are in college age, 21 and 19. And sometimes we have conversations about what is being taught there. It's supposed to be about critical thinking. It's supposed to be about moral courage, speaking truth to power, the mantra that the left uses all the time. They're actually speaking corruption and apologizing for the worst violence in humanity and not defending those who were attacked.
Got it.
They have departments about Islamophobia, and that is actually preventing blasphemy. So this is absurd. It's not America.
Got it. Zuhdi Jasser, thanks for joining us.